Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Right now I have something new. I have something new to fix and I have something new to show you. This is not a regular 850 as you think so. This is 850Csi. Some of you knows that these models made around 1200 and I don't know how many exactly of them, but this is a rare machine. As always, I'm not buying fully functional cars, you know that, and this one have some issues. Biggest issue on this one is the engine, because it is not running well. The car is loaded, I have secured all the wheels, all tight, all 4 wheels of course. We are ready to roll. And we have some pretty goddamn bad weather. Finally arrived. As I was buying the car, there was a slight misfiring, so I was not 100% sure about that. Now you will see me working on this car, already started fixing the engine, but on the end I found the problem. So the cover is already loose. Let's get those filters off. Connector down there. We don't want any broken wires. Air filter has seen better days. Nice. So this piece will be in the way completely, so it will be removed. Carefully. I don't want anything to go bad on this car because these parts are so rare and expensive. Now it is much easier. So there is one screw right here and on the second edge, and make sure you don't lose them because they do like to get away. And then pull it out. Now you have much more space to work on. It means a better access to all these parts. Already one missing screw down here. Do you know why? Well, the reason for a missing screw right here is that the first time I checked on the car, it just ran rough and it didn't run nice. So I talked to the previous owner and I told him this engine needs new injectors, new spark plugs, new cables. All he did is new injectors and new spark plugs, and this car still runs like shit. So the problem will be in these cables because they are old and still original. They are also worn out. Let's unplug these injectors. Oh yeah! They have installed a brand new fuel line, but as you can see it is completely wrong installed. It is in pre-bait position. It means this rail is getting less fuel than it should. But anyway, I need to remove all that stuff, so it doesn't matter. It will be done. Well, in order to get a great access to the engine, you need to take this wire harness out of the way and I will do it step by step down there. One side done. This side wire harness will be a bit tricky because the wires are running down here and down there to the oil pan. So yeah, it's not everything that easy as you think it could be, but that's all normal. Just like that. Oh God. In order not to mix these cables, you need to make sure which one is for what. And in this case, you have this cable running from this rail going down there. The lower one, the white one, is a crankshaft sensor going down there. And the upper one, the black one, is going on number 12 cylinder cable. It is a cold donut sensor. The passenger side is the same thing. The upper one is going to a crankshaft sensor, and the lower one, the white one, is in this case, a donut sensor running on a cylinder number 6 cable. So easy as that. Now you need to disassemble this plate. Just pull it in one side like this. And same goes on the other direction, and then you get it out. And also it is easy to mark because the right side of the engine, these two cables are running on this side, and these two cables on the left side are running up here and down there in the same line. So this one is obviously loose, going nowhere. So I have one cable on a alternator. It will be a tricky one to get on it. But before I put my fingers on an alternator, I will disconnect the batteries. The rear axle geometry is not working because the light in dash was not on, and right now I found an issue. It is a disconnected computer. So what that means, it will not work because it cannot work with all these parts being disconnected. There will be a huge reason for that. So everything is disconnected and loose. Now you should be able to just pull it up like this. Well, they have installed these two fuel hoses new, and the rest is down there, still the old one. I will tell you something from experience. If you still have original fuel lines and they look great, like these down there, and you don't have any better quality rubber, leave them in. And if you are ready to pay 15 euros for a meter, then you can change them. What I want to say with that is I am buying expensive fuel lines for 15 euros a meter, and they are the same quality as these, but I don't want any fuel running down there on a exhaust manifold, because we all know what happens then. Because the car I bought from Stratton installed brand new fuel hoses. You saw it in the video. They broke down. Thankfully the car was cold, I didn't start it, and the fuel line that was installed started to spray on an exhaust manifold. So make yourself a favor, just buy quality parts, because it is obvious that this car is not cheap. These are really rare models, and you don't want to install something creepy what's gonna cost you the whole car. There is something else pretty important when you want to try to remove your fuel hoses. Wrap them with some towel, because there is still a pressure in these fuel lines. When you take it off, it will spray in your eyes. Trust me, I know it. I know it because I have experienced it. Lay them just over, and after that you can pull it off. You see how it sprays? You see that? When you just pull it off, it's not much, but it is just a small amount of pressure that will come in your eyes, and it will spray all around of these plastic parts. You don't want that, trust me. I would recommend to you, before you pull your fuel race off, just use some compressed air to remove the dirt on the sides. I mean, these are brand new, there shouldn't be any dirt, but in any case, you don't want anything getting in your engine. Another tip is just make sure you close these lines on a rail and do not let the fuel go out, because you don't want these to be dry. Come on off. Number 12 is sitting goddamn tight. I think they have hired a kid back in the days. Only kid can reach these cables. There's just no place. First side going out. Should be easy as it is. Easy as that. Intake manifolds are off, and there is one great thing about this engine. There is no oil on intake valves, not on a single valve. And what that means? It means that this engine is not burning any oil. Yeah, this is something really rare and really nice. But I think the reason for that is just a low mileage. These are still the original gaskets. Look at this production date, 93, the same year the car was produced. Making sure nothing gets in this beautiful engine. Moment of truth. Look at this engine from the inside. It is so goddamn clean. Unbelievable. Camshafts, they don't have any wear. So that means that all these screws have been tight the whole time. I will check on these right now, but as you can see, this engine looks pretty goddamn clean. It is already a great sign. So let's check these banjo bolts. Tight, 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 tight. Excellent. This is bank 2 and it is all tight. That's the reason why I don't have any wear on these camshafts. When you get this screw loose and the oil supply is not anymore in this pipe, that means you will not get enough oil on your camshaft and it will wear out. And it does look really bad when you don't have enough oil in this oil line. Well, first side was clean, the second side is logically clean too. Down there we had small oil leak, but with a new gasket we will deal that out. The very next step will be to remove water pump. Water pump is maybe 4 years old. It was changed at BMW dealer 4 years ago, and they did change the O-rings in this metal tube. But the most common issue on these M70 S70 engines are these big volley pen down there. There is a gasket prone to leak with the years, and of course I have disassembled all of this, and now it is the best time to change the gasket down there. It costs 15 euros, so the best time to invest these 15 euros is right now. Yeah, special tools are really nice to have. Don't ever put it down like this or like this. Always leave it in a working position, because there is fluid inside, and when you put it like this or like that, that fluid goes in all the channels where it should not be, and then it runs 100% all the time. And that's the bad visco clutch. And right there. This hose is off. That hose right there is off. The hose down there is up. And right now you should be able to pull it up. It is the time to get this water pump out. There will be still water inside. Check this out. This belt looks like new, because it is new. But before you lose your water pump belt, make sure you lose these 4 screws, otherwise you will have a bit pain in the ass later. This one also looks like new. And now the pulley. In order to get to all screws from this water pump, you need to remove this pulley, and for that you need to remove these spanners. And that will be the first thing to remove right now. There is no need to mark this pulley because you have a pin right there and then a pin in a crankshaft. You need to align these two. Obviously now you do have access to all the screws. All the screws are loose. Yes, it looks like that. Nice. Come on. Yeah. Let's clean this engine. Let's pull out this old fluid. This is the very next step. I think a lot of you will know what this is. It is a engine leak down test and it is showing me some leakage. Cylinder number 7, top dead center. It is also leaking on inlet valve. Right now the pistons went down and the piston rings are on the position where the scorings are the baddest. It means on this place piston rings are not able to seal. It means every time when pistons go up it will not seal the compression, and that compressed air will run through your piston rings into your crankcase, and from there it's called blow-by. It means not sealing correctly, only sealing on the top. But when the piston reaches the middle, it means it will have less volume to compress. And that cylinder will never run correctly. The only way to fix it is you'll see in a minute. Yes, you are seeing it right. It belongs right there. It is a secret M8 model. We all know that, and we all know how rare these cars are. Unfortunately, this engine ain't that great. The engine wasn't running right, and I decided to find a problem. So I started with disassembly all of parts from the top to check the camshaft wear, to check all these vacuum leaks and stuff. And soon later I found out this It was never a plan to take this engine out. It was never a plan to overhaul it completely. What I was thinking about was that this engine has some vacuum leaks, because they do suffer from vacuum leaks, and they do suffer from these banjo bolts up here. Because these engines are really rare and really expensive. And I actually found one here in Germany. Only 35,000 euros. And if you check these pictures, you will ask yourself, what is this guy trying to sell to you? And all that aluminum oxidation after all these years, well, I mean 35,000 euros, and then you didn't even paint the engine. Come on. And there will be no playing games with this engine, because this car is made only 1,200 times, 1,300 times, I'm not sure correctly, don't get me wrong. This is so rare and so expensive, and I don't want anything wrong to happen to this engine.
Serio kamionowany.
No, ogromen. Tato popre.
Nie muszą.
This is my way how to remove engine from a car. I don't have any more space for another big tools in this workshop, because it is just too small. I would like to buy myself this, guy drives up. You can easily put engine on it, but I don't have place to store it right here. So this is a good alternative. My son is helping me right now because he wants to see it, he wants to help me, and this one will be a mechanic too, trust me. Can you believe that? I haven't forgot anything. Well, I cannot believe it. Sometimes you do forget some things, but here I was fully concentrated whole day long.
Wow! What a hole!
So, it works just fine. Sometimes you do need to keep this kind of rubbish, because you never know when you're gonna need it. And I need it right now. Let's call it a white floor. This one will be very useful tip. If you are doing the same and you wanna overhaul your V8 or V12 BMW engine, make sure you disassemble all these parts first, and after that put it on an engine stand. Because if you put this engine on an engine stand with all these parts, you will have, 30-40 kilos more, and with all that extra weight you will put a lot of stress on this tiny aluminium engine block, and it could happen that it breaks down. This is not something what could happen, this is something what already happened to many guys, to many mechanics. They just put a whole engine on an engine stand, and this block was not able to handle all that weight just on these small pieces right here. So make sure, remove everything, after that put it on an engine stand. Engine is finally outside, it is finally on engine stand, and it is all safe. I am using this jack stand in order to make sure that there are no cracks later in engine block. And I have another tip for you right now. Always use this complete thread in this hole in order to cover the complete section from the hole, so that the screw can hold already from there and not only in the middle. And the same I did down there. I measured the hole. That's the reason why this side have so many washers. It means that this screw is completely inside and it is holding the whole length from this hole. So let's get those heads off.
Easy as that.
Just a small tip, if you want to make sure not to bend your cylinder head, make sure you lose your screws one after another, just in small steps and in the same direction how you are supposed to tighten the head screws. The moment of the truth. I think I found another issue. If you take a careful look, you will see the difference. This one is alright, and something's missing there. So what that means is that this missing piece is somewhere down in the block, and when I found it, I will be able to weld it back together. This was easy. Yes, you have seen it correctly. Cylinder scoring on number 12. This is the only cylinder that has scores, and they will be repaired. These scores are not that bad because I can barely feel it under my nails and under my fingers, but they will be repaired. It's not that much damage in a material, and this will be, I hope so, easy fix. But for that fix I still need to disassemble this whole engine, and I have found another issues with this engine, and those issues are the reason why this engine run roughly. The first damage that I found was that shim broken on a valve. The second piece is somewhere down in the engine, and the reason for that broken shim is that some stupid mechanic already tried to do some stuff on this engine, because if you check carefully you will see this RTV. From the factory they didn't use any RTV on these engines, only on the edges where the rubber cannot seal properly. But these two guys, they have RTV on them. It's not bad, it's not that much, but this is the proof that someone already tried to do something on this engine. So, and if you take a careful look to these pistons, you will see a small notch 2 times. This is cylinder number 5. This is cylinder number 4. Cylinder number 3. Cylinder number 2. 4 pistons with a slight damage. What I'm thinking about right now is they did something on a timing. They didn't do it properly, so they turned the engine and the valves had contact with the pistons. This is the first solution, and after the valves had the contact with the pistons, you can imagine it, they are trying to go down, pistons are going up, and that's the reason why such stuff happens. Worst case scenario is broken shim. Second worst case scenario are leaking valves. And they are leaking maybe, because they are slightly bent. I'm not completely sure right now, because I need to take them out and to check them if they are round or not. And the second idea, what could happen for that damage on the pistons, is if some idiot, yes, I have to say it like that, maybe he was turning the engine anti-clockwise. What that means is when you do that, this side of the chain goes in, it pushes the tensioner all the way in, and this side has a lot of play. It means it takes a bit time for this camshaft to follow the crankshaft. And if that happened, in that time, this was the problem. The pistons had contact with the valves. And yes, the worst case scenario happened. We do have broken shim, we do have leaking valves, and we do have marks on the pistons. It is the time to take it apart and to check the damage if there is something on the bearings, on the crankshaft, or I don't know, we'll see. I don't think there is any damage because this is just a small damage and it is not that serious, but I will make 100% sure that there is no damage on the rods, on the bearings, on the crankshaft, or on the valves, because otherwise it makes no sense to put this engine back together with all the parts damaged. So I need to inspect that. And right now is finally time to disassemble it completely. I do have great news. Check for the sound. Maybe you can hear it, but check this out. This is actually the missing piece that I was talking about. Bingo! They do match together. So, this one will be new. Not only this one, all of them. And this mighty old pump has sucked it in. It is all normal because she is sucking a lot. And thanks to this metal filter, it was not able to suck it all the way up in these internal parts. And this is, yeah, the piece that I was looking for. And I knew I will find it in this oil pump. 0.16 millimeters of a play. What I have achieved right now is I have measured all the pistons, all the cylinders, all the bearings, and I came up to a result that this engine had some wear, a bit more wear as usual, but it is still not that bad. The biggest issue on this engine was wrong engine oil. Because this engine has only 75,000 kilometers, and those are the main bearings. And this is already a big damage. Those are the upper ones. The rear bearing has huge clearance. And I have written all down. Yes, it is in German because I am in Germany and the machine shop, they speak German, so they need to know what is what. And those are diameters from the cylinder. The upper one are without engine head and the lower one are with engine head. And that means I need to make a torque plate for this engine and then it can be perfectly honed. This is something I still need to measure. Piston rings will be changed, they will be new, and the pistons, they are still fine and they will be again coated. This is a piston number 12 and all that damage happened because this coating went bad. It just wore out and the problem was the aluminum piston had contact with aluminum cylinder, and this is why this scoring happens. So this coating is pretty old. It is old school coating. You can see it down there. In the piston there are areas they are not coated, so those one will be coated again, completely new in another diameter, and these pistons will be used again because they are still in a good shape. Connecting rod bearings are still, let's call it, fine, but they will be all new because I have found some damages on few of them. Nothing serious, but I want to make sure that this engine has all proper parts, and it would be a shame not to change them. The rest of the engine is over here and down there, and the cylinder heads will be done by me and my friend because he has all the machines for that. This will be interesting because this is not something I do every day, but it is still possible. All the rest will be cleaned up and you know, all that stuff. So in the next episode this engine will be completely assembled. Machine shops in Germany, they need a lot of time. I can understand that. All of this takes a lot of time to do it properly. So right now I am not able to do anything more as that because I'm just one man and full time and kids. I'm not able to post more than that. So I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and like and put a comment down below. I am really interested what are you thinking about all of that. Cheers.